Hello everybody, welcome aboard. Now recently there's been some interesting news released by the developers of Stormworks Build and Rescue. So I thought I'd just do a video talking about that today. Now many of you may be familiar with this already, but there is a major update to Stormworks on the way guys, and we don't know exactly when that's going to be released yet, but it's going to be a career mode focused update I believe, with a few extra bits and pieces as well. And on the 1st of May, the developers have released a news post just talking about some of the things coming up in this update. And it sounds pretty exciting, guys. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is actually post this video showing a few of the images they've released and talk about everything they've discussed in the post, and then give you guys my thoughts and opinions as well. And I have read all the comments, well, quite a few of the comments anyway, from the post on Steam. And lots of people on there have got some really good ideas as to what to add. So anyway, let me go and read through this first part of the developers post. Dear Stormworkers, this week we want to tell you about a brand new feature that has been asked for a lot and continues to be a popular request: first person equipment. Now already guys, I can tell you that I've been waiting for this feature for a very long time. And I know that a lot of other people have wanted this as well. It's really going to be a big game changer for career mode in particular. So guys, we're already off to a really good start here, but let's carry on and see what's coming. Handheld tools are coming to Stormworks in the next big update. You will have a body in first person and will be able to see this body at all times, if walking, running, swimming or seated. This will be your body as you designed in the character editor when starting the game. Okay, now that's really handy guys. I mean, it's a bit of immersion there, isn't it? But as you can see in the GIF that we've got, the character is actually holding the joystick on that pilot seat. I guess, you know, same for steering wheels and... Okay, now as far as pressing buttons and pulling, you know, levers and things, I'm not sure if the hand is going to interact with those as well. They might do, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But certainly, so far, it's quite a nice upgrade there already. Okay, now another thing I've noticed in this GIF, guys, is the action bar, which is of course at the bottom of the screen. It's got a few icons on there, highlighted. There's also a couple of tabs on it which are not highlighted. So I'm not sure what they might be. Maybe different tools, I'm not sure. Guys, if you have any ideas what those might be, let me know down below in the comments. That'd be very interesting. And also, I've noticed on the right hand side underneath those instrument panels, there's what looks a bit like a fluid port, but it's got, you know, it's dark grey but with red lines on it. I've really got no idea what that is, guys, so it might be something we already have in the game, but I'm not really recognising it right now. So again, let me know if you've got any idea what that could be as well. As you know, the next big update is going to be a special one. Having taken a long time to develop and containing many big features we have already announced, including game mode modding, new procedural missions, new game mode options, and first person items. There is a huge amount of work that has been going into this next big release. Many of the features relate to each other, and many of the minor update features you have seen over the last few months relate to the next update, as we use those new features in new ways. All will become apparent as we announce more about the next update. Okay, so next, what is the handheld equipment? We have previously announced handheld ropes, where you can dynamically create rope links for tethering, mooring, refueling or recharging. These handheld items will be very useful, not just for operating your own vehicles, but also for performing missions. These handheld items are all about allowing players to do more in the simulation and have greater power to interact with the world. Okay guys, so something I'm thinking about straight away there is hopefully in the world we're now going to find rope anchor points or cleats, you know, in the world already when we spawn in, when we create a new world, so we can go into a dock and actually attach ropes to the dock without having to make some kind of cleat or rope anchor on the dock before we start the game. If they're already there, that would be a really good feature in the game. And also there's a few jetties, aren't there, you can find around the world, and who knows what else we'll get in the future. So just having those anchor points there already will be really useful. But also it will enable us to actually tow things and lift things up without using power, because if we run out of battery power, of course, you know, we can't use a connector or a mag to connect to anything and save us basically. So that would be really handy, just to have a way of attaching things without the use of any power whatsoever. Other handheld equipment we are announcing this week is handheld repair tools. You will be able to equip handheld welders to repair damaged blocks and repair vehicles to get systems back online, fix leaks, and get your vehicle moving again. Now guys, that is so handy. At the moment, if you get damaged, that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, wheels might stop turning, engines will stop working permanently, leaks will happen in the hulls of boats. Now, you can, of course, get around that a bit by having, you know, bilge systems and pumping out water, but just the ability to go and actually fix your hull and fix the engines and the wheels and anything probably in the game will be, you know, quite vital in career mode, but also great fun as well. There are two types of welders: torch welding, allowing faster repairs, but not being possible while submerged, and submerged style welding, which isn't as quick but is essential when damage is flooded or on the ocean floor. Okay guys, so I'm just thinking about some amazing missions that we could get out of this feature. For example, you might have to dive down and fix the hull of a submarine, and then like eject all the water out of it or pump air into it, fix the hull so there's no more leak, and then have it float back up to the surface, and stuff like that. It's going to be really interesting. Hopefully guys, the repairing won't just be for our own benefit on our own creations, but also maybe for missions as well. Alright then, so let's go on to the next part of this post. These tools are about helping those in need with damaged vehicles, stopping damaged vessels from flooding, or keeping your mission moving forwards even when your vehicle sustains critical damage and would previously have ended the flow of gameplay. We are excited to share this new equipment and talk more about other handheld items we are adding to the game. Right, now if we have a look at these two gifts we've got here guys, I just noticed this, and there are a couple of hidden features here. If you look in the top one where the helicopter's upside down, of course we have blocks being repaired, we've got the welding tool which all looks great. But if you have a look in the roof of the helicopter, you'll actually see there's a red package there, and I think that is a medical pack, probably to, you know, for healing and things. There is something else as well just behind it, I can't quite see what that is, it's also red. And it's a bit further back on the same level of the helicopter. So that might be another medical pack, or it might be something else. But anyway, at least we've seen one hidden feature there. I can't see anything else at the moment, so let me know guys in the comments if you notice something that I've missed. Okay guys, so when I've finished reading through this post here, I'm actually going to talk about some of the handheld items and tools that I would like to see in the game as well. But let's get through the rest of the post first. Okay, when will the next update arrive? With the new upcoming announcements, we are trying to be as transparent as we can about where development is going and what is next for Stormworks. Some questions are difficult to answer because we don't know the answers yet ourselves. A release date is one of those areas where we haven't decided yet. As you are aware, this isn't a regular major update, but is going to be especially big. And there are more features we are yet to announce, and others we are yet to add. We expect it to take months rather than weeks to get this update ready. Please let us know your ideas for other first-person equipment you would like to see added to the game. We always love hearing your ideas and are enjoying discussing ideas and development earlier, as it gives us more time to take your suggestions on board and shape development of the game. Much love, the Stormworks developers. Right, so now we've been through all this post guys, I have to say I'm quite excited about this next update, and to be honest, you know, it has a lot of features that I've wanted for a long time. I'm sure it has a lot of features that lots of people have wanted for a long time, handheld tools just being one of those things, but there's a lot more coming as well, things we know about, things we don't know about. And now I'm just going to go through a few things which I would like to see added in the form of handheld tools, which I think would benefit the game and be quite fun for us to use as well. And guys, feel free to leave your comments down below, let me know what kind of handheld tools and other things you would like in the game going forwards. And also I do suggest going over, if you're interested, onto this post here and into the comments section. Lots of people have left their ideas and suggestions. It's really quite interesting, and I even left a comment there myself with a few ideas, but I'm going to go over some of those things right now. Okay, so the first one I'd like to see is fire extinguishers. Okay, so I think fire extinguishers would be a great idea to add to the game, because not only could we use them on our own vehicles and creations, but also we might have missions that involve you know, smaller fires, or fires which are only accessible really by going inside a building, for example, where you could just carry a fire extinguisher in. I think that would be quite interesting. And also guys, another thing I'm going to talk about later is visual inventory. Okay, so we'll get onto that later, but that will include fire extinguishers as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is life rings. Now I thought it would be quite a good idea, because I've seen a lot of people on their creations make life rings and hang them on the side of their boats and stuff, and they look amazing. And I think it'd be a really cool idea to have life rings that we could throw to NPCs, and other players in multiplayer as well, of course. I think that's another good level of interactivity with the game, having to actually pick up a ring, throw it into the water fairly accurately, and have NPCs grab it and then save them from there. And again, you know, in terms of visual inventory, I'll get onto that soon, but that will also play into it as well. Now, the next idea I've come up with, guys, is shark repellent in a spray can. Because, you know, there's no real defense against sharks right now, apart from our own speed, really, in the water. So, you know, just for example, and we don't know if we're going to get weapons in the game. We might do, we might not, you know, but if we don't, then at the very least, shark repellent would be a good defensive tool without having to use weapons. And if we have an inventory on our character, then we could just carry cans in our inventory. You know, maybe if you spray yourself with this shark repellent, it would last for, you know, 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something. So it would give you a window of opportunity to dive down and do whatever work you need to do and get up without being attacked. And on the other hand of things, guys, there's no real defense against the Meg apart from, as we say, speed. But what if there was a way of having bait as well, shark bait, okay? So, you know, if a Meg was chasing you, which does happen now and again, it's sunk many of my boats, and a lot of boats are just not fast enough. And I just think it would be quite a nice defensive feature to have, and maybe if we had a way of distracting Megs and sharks, or even just repelling them with whatever, I think more people might then play with sharks and Megs turned on in the game, potentially, right? I don't know, but I certainly would, because it'd be more fun and without having to sort of guarantee that you're going to get killed at some point by a giant shark. Anyway, okay, now let's move on to the next one, which is a handheld torch. Okay, so at the moment, of course, our torch is basically a light that appears on your head, and it would be really nice to just have a handheld torch, to say, quite a simple idea, but yeah, just a bit more immersive. And now we have the body, the arms, the hands and everything, etc. It's probably very possible, and you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if that's coming anyway into the game. Okay, now on the subject of torches, guys, I've actually had an idea to have a lantern as well, one that you could pick up and carry around, or hang it from a rope or something. Or you could just place it on any surface and just have it light up an area. Now the next thing I was thinking of is binoculars, or even a telescope, or both. So you can of course zoom in at the moment, right? But it would be nice to actually have a tool that does that for you. It would just be a bit more fun and engaging. And maybe you can have different levels of zoom, maybe even like night vision, for example. You can have a rangefinder kind of thing. I don't know, just lots of different ideas. Right, so next is a flare gun, and I just think as we have flares already, it's probably quite possible to have just a handheld flare gun, which does the same job. And maybe the flares would come separately and you'd have to reload the gun each time. And then of course again you could probably choose which type of flare, like parachute flares and so on, just like we have already, but with a handheld gun instead. Okay, now relating to fire extinguishers, guys, I had an idea to have a water gun as well. Now of course a water gun would actually be attached to maybe a fluid tank or to the sea itself, or some kind of large water source, so you really wouldn't run out of water anytime soon when using it. And you could drag it around to various different places quite easily, get into buildings and things. You could drag it around your ships or anything like that. And possibly it would fire further than a fire extinguisher as well, so it might not be as readily available. You'd probably have to switch on pumps and things first, but yes, it would probably have an advantage in range, and it would still be quite flexible as well. And you can kind of make a handheld water gun already, because you've got the fluid nozzle, you've got the handle and stuff like that. But they're not that easy to control, and probably if there was a specific tool for it, it would be very easy to control in the hand, and it wouldn't just move about all over the place when you're trying to do a job. Okay, now in terms of visual inventory, guys, as I was speaking about earlier, it'd be amazing to have some kind of shelving or rack or cabinet system in the game. Now of course we already sort of have that for outfits, don't we? We've got these sort of shelf things. We could actually store our tools in those. Maybe each tool will take up a different amount of space within the shelf, and you just have to put down enough shelves to support all your tools there. Fire extinguishers and life rings, and you know, anything really could fit into the current shelving component that we already have, so that's quite nice. Now if we do end up having a character inventory, which we may do, I mean that's fine as well, right? But again, if we only have that, then we won't be able to see things around the boat, and I just think it'd be quite a nice idea to have to place things around your creations strategically in the right place, like fire extinguishers near the engines, and binoculars near your in your bridge and next to the helms and stuff like that. I think it'd be really nice to have that extra feature and detail there. And as the developers said in the post there, they do want to hear from us. They want us to suggest our ideas, and you know, these ideas may get put into the game. If they're not being planned already, they may end up in the game. And don't forget that also there are things that we don't know about, and I suppose even the developers probably don't know some of the things that will end up in there in the next 2 or 3 months before release. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching and listening, and if you want to see more of these sorts of videos where I go over the news post every 2 weeks and comment on it, and you know, just get some conversation going with you guys in the comments as well, let me know. The like and subscribe buttons are there if you enjoyed the video. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.